My brother is a lawyer, and whenever he does work for my parents, they pay him and act very proud that he went to law school and made something of himself. I'm a plumber. I didn't really enjoy school or basking in the glow of my younger brother, so I got an apprenticeship right out of high school and I now have my own company. Whenever my parents call me for help, I pop over and fix whatever they have going on, and then I might stick around for a bit to catch up with them. Lately though, they've been idiots. My nephew is going to college this fall and will probably become a lawyer as well. I'm proud of him. He's a good kid who's worked his butt off to get where he is. My parents, however, have decided that they need to push my kids to be successful, unlike me. They were over a few weeks ago and they were bugging my daughter about where she would study after high school and what she wanted to be. She said she wanted to go to school to be a vet tech. That wasn't good enough. She should go to university and become a veterinarian. They kept pushing even after she explained her reasoning. It made me angry. So we had some flooding in our area last week, and my parents needed some emergency help. I was busy because many people needed emergency help, so I said no. They said I was being a jerk, not helping them out, and my brother always made time for them. So I said that my emergency fee was X dollars and that I'd be right over as soon as they paid. They hung up on me. Obviously, every other plumber in the area was busy. My fee was still a friends and family deal, so after calling around they discovered they'd be on a wait list for days and pay more. So they paid my fee and I went over and fixed the problem. They've been mad ever since, but I pointed out that I was a successful businessman and, like my brother, I expected to be paid for my work. Am I the idiot? They have no problem paying for my brother for legal work, but don't consider my work as a plumber to be successful enough to warrant payment. So I started charging them. I might be the idiot because I only did it after they began hounding my daughter to be successful. Not the idiot. People who don't respect trades are baffling to me. The elitism is disgusting. They don't know what your work is worth. They were long overdue for a rude awakening on that. You might need another difficult conversation with them about golden child scapegoat dynamics and how you won't let that dynamic happen with your daughter. I work in veterinary software and we've had many vet techs leave their jobs and come and work for us because the pay is low, it's very stressful and high burnout. They get tired of seeing people bring in their old dog to be euthanized to make room for the new Christmas puppy. Yes, it happens, a lot more than you would think. I'm not saying the parents are right, but it's a field that takes advantage of young, animal-loving girls. College doesn't guarantee success. A vet tech is an honourable profession and OP's kid should do what makes her happy. I've needed and hired a plumber many more times than I have a lawyer, so who's really the successful one? We ran into a massive plumbing issue literally hours after purchasing our home. The plumbers were fantastic, timely, competent, professional, and had a wicked sense of humour, which helped me in my despair over the costs and inconvenience. The lawyer is a bumbling idiot who still hasn't helped us recover the nearly $13,000 in costs that shouldn't have been ours. I know the real heroes in society when I see them. I 100% agree. We need more plumbers, electricians and carpenters, and fewer lawyers. OP, I'm not sure how you're unsuccessful. I don't see why being a lawyer is better than having a plumbing business. Sounds like you help them as much as your brother, if not more. Not sure how much legal help they could need. And definitely not an idiot for treating them like a customer and not giving them any special privileges when they don't treat you how they treat your bro. Good for you for standing up for yourself. Unpopular opinion. Everyone's the idiot here. Their judgment about your career is uncool. Instead of communicating with them like an adult, though, you just passively-aggressively change the protocol of your relationship by demanding a fee up front. You used to come over and help them out. While I agree they should be paying you for your time, but you're the one who enabled this behaviour. Have you ever asked them to pay you? Have you ever told them, in an itemised bill kind of way, the value of the services you provide? They don't know what a plumber makes unless you show them. You want them to treat you like a professional, act like a professional. Instead, you used an emergency to teach them a lesson. My 27 male wife, 24, and I are expecting our first baby. I always expected to have a boy because my entire family is a boy family. I have 3 brothers and my dad has 2 brothers as well. All my uncles also have sons. An older cousin of mine has 2 kids, they're both boys as well. So, naturally, I expected a boy. Since the first minute we found out my wife was pregnant, I always referred to the baby as he, son, etc. My wife was annoyed by me and said we don't know for sure if it's going to be a boy, and I always brought up my family history on why it's a boy and how I'm sure. My wife wanted a girl, but she always said, I want a girl, but at the end of the day, I want a healthy baby. I understood that, but still couldn't wrap my head around having a daughter. Growing up, I was always prepared to be a boy dad. So gender reveal party happens, everyone's filming the reveal, and there it is. Pink reveal. I couldn't believe it. I was in shock and my heart dropped to my stomach. I was so disappointed that my wife came to hug me and I pushed her away because I needed to gather myself. My wife is upset at me, barely talks to me, and says I acted like a child and now I ruin the moment. She said we won't even be able to share that moment with our daughter in the future because I'm acting like an idiot. Her friends and family all think I'm an idiot for my reaction. My family, on the other hand, believes I should ignore negative feedback and that gender disappointment is real and they're as shocked as I am. They say I'm entitled to my negative feelings, which doesn't make me an idiot. So, am I the idiot or not here? Gender disappointment is a BS term created to make close-minded people who believe in outdated gender stereotypes feel better. If you're having a child, your priority should be that they're healthy and happy, not what genitals they're born with. You're so stuck on being a boy dad that it probably didn't even occur to you that even if you had a son, that doesn't mean he'll want to do all the boy things you're dreaming of. You are the idiot. Opie acts like he has to carry on a royal line to protect his kingdom from Spain and France. I feel so bad for Opie's wife. She's carrying around this man's baby and he dares to push her away at a gender reveal party because he's so hung up on his own BS. Even in this post, he never stops to consider how his actions hurt her. And now his family is enabling him by telling him that it's okay? Gross. Growing up, I was always prepared to be a boy dad. Summing up, you grew up to be a terrible, immature person. Children should be loved unconditionally. Their gender doesn't matter. You're not ready to be a parent. I feel for your wife. Not only is she pregnant with her first child, she also has a baby for a partner. My older brother Mike, 28, got engaged to his girlfriend, 23. As per tradition, our parents said they'd throw them an engagement party and invited me. I, 26 female, am beyond happy for him. I moved away for college when I turned 18 and I've been very busy ever since, so I don't visit home very much. I didn't even make it to Christmas for a few years. Luckily for me, Mike's engagement party was on my golden weekend. I travelled 6 hours by plane, made it to the party and congratulated Mike in person. Also, I got to see my aunts, uncles, cousins and everyone I hadn't seen for a long while. They asked about what I was doing, my rotations, similar questions, etc. Mike pulled me aside and told me to stop stealing the show again at his engagement party. I was confused. All I did was literally show up, so I asked him what was going on. He said I kept outdoing him at everything and even stole the show at his engagement party. Background info, between the two of us, I was the calm, academically inclined one who was a straight-A student and recently started residency. He was the artistically inclined troublemaker. However, from my perspective, that was 8 years ago and I only visited a handful of times during these years. I told him I was sorry and asked him what he wanted me to do. He told me to stop doing what I was doing and not brag about my job, dating life or anything else. Mind you, I was being asked questions, not bragging. I thought he simply wanted me to leave his party based on this and left, saying he could enjoy the spotlight as he pleased. I was honestly sad that he wasn't happy to see me and was mostly angry. My parents kept calling me, asking me to return, but I said I didn't want to disturb Mike's night. My parents think I was an idiot and caused a scene, as does Mike. I told them about Mike's comments and now they're outraged at him. Everyone's in a conflict, more or less. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Wow. It's a shocker that you haven't visited home often in the last few years. It's a total mystery. Your brother's request was terribly rude. Stay at my party but don't talk to anyone and don't answer questions about your life equals leave. Your brother's own insecurity fed this entire situation. What does Mike feel is talked about at an engagement party? This is where people connect who haven't seen each other in years or for the first time. You learn about others and ask them for details about their personal lives. I do not feel there was a malicious intention on your end to upstage him. Jesus, if this is the engagement party, how the heck would it be at the wedding? You dance with one person and get accused of stealing the spotlight from the couple? Mike is still the teenager in competition with you and he considers your answering direct questions to be bragging. There was no way you could win here unless, I don't know, you travel back in time and drop out of school. I think it's pretty clear why you rarely go back to visit if this is indicative of the sort of treatment you get when you simply answer questions. I would skip the wedding as well. He clearly doesn't like you. My ex-wife, 44, and I, 43 male, were together for 14 years and have been divorced for almost 5 years now. We also have an 18-year-old son together who lives primarily with me and visits his mother a few times a week. My son has been working really hard the past year. He's been doing great in school and helps a lot around the house. He's taken on a big role in helping care for his toddler brother the past few months because my wife, 35, is currently 7 months pregnant with our second baby and is having a hard time. My son has also been working a job on the weekends to save up for a car he really wants. He's set to graduate in a few weeks. I've really noticed how hard my son has been working for the past year and how much he's been contributing to the household over the past few months. So, as a graduation gift, I wanted to get him something special for all his efforts. The car my son wants would definitely take him a few years to save up for, so that seemed like a great gift. So, I bought him the car he wanted as a gift and he really enjoyed it. It was definitely an expensive gift for an 18-year-old, but he deserved it. A couple of days ago, out of the blue, I got multiple messages from my ex-wife. She said I bought our son this expensive car without consulting her first. I told her that our son is a legal adult, so I'm not obligated to consult her about that. She said that as his mother, she has a right to be part of a decision like this. I just repeated that he's 18, so I don't need to ask her for permission in any way for this. This turned into her getting angrier and even insulting me on how incompetent of a parent I am. I just ignored her after that. Am I the idiot? Edit, I got his insurance and the repair was all covered by myself. What's the problem with parents sharing information? Obviously, OP doesn't need permission to buy a car, but why not tell the kid's mom? In this case, it's all great news. Kid's mom did play a role in raising him. Sure, she would be happy to hear he's done an awesome job this year. Isn't the whole idea of parenting doing what's in the best interest of the child? Kids can never have too many people in their lives that love and care for them. Why get annoyed because someone else is interested in your kid's well-being? Weird. Technically not the idiot, but why argue about this stuff? What's the big secret? My mother behaved the same way when my dad bought my older brother a car and put it in my brother's name. She demanded the insurance be in her name, and my dad declined, saying that she would only use it as a form of control. OP, you and she are not together, so she has no say in what you spend your money on when spending your money on your son. She can stay mad. Is this why you divorced her? What a surprise. I bet their son's car is better than hers, and she's jealous the money was spent on something for their son rather than on something for her. On top of that, she probably thinks it makes her look like a garbage parent because the dad bought it and she had no part in it. OP sounds like a great parent. I agree, she doesn't pay for his insurance. He's no longer a child that she has any legal right over. Not to mention, it's a great way to show how much you appreciate what he does and show that he isn't forgotten with the new sibling. In fact, I wouldn't be too surprised if that's why your ex was mad. It's hard to push a narrative now of you caring more about the expected baby than you do him. I, male 32, have a daughter teen with my ex, female 33. My ex has a son, pre-tween, with her husband. Her son is autistic, and even though he's verbal, he has difficulty communicating how he feels or what he wants, which causes him to throw huge tantrums. If you do the math, it's clear both my ex and I were young when our daughter was born. It caused us to not be well off financially throughout our daughter's childhood up until recently. Well, last weekend my ex and her husband decided to take our daughter and their son to Disneyland, which is about 4 hours away, for the weekend. Monday morning, I FaceTimed with my daughter just wondering how it went. She started crying, saying the whole time her brother was throwing fits when he didn't get what he wanted. If the lines were taking too long, he would get upset and start throwing a fit. She said she felt bad because she knew he couldn't help it, but she was upset that her trip was ruined. I understand because for most of her childhood, neither her mom nor I could afford vacations like that. I have vacation time built up, so I said I would take her, and we can do some other things as well. She seemed excited and thanked me several times. Well, a few hours later I got a call from my ex getting mad. I was going to take her to Disneyland after she just went. She said it was an idiot move. Not the idiot. It doesn't sound like your ex is doing a very good job here. Perhaps Disney was not an appropriate place to take her son, at least with her approach to parenting. Regardless, she should have thought about what would make a vacation enjoyable for both of her children and planned accordingly. Your ex is only mad because she knows your daughter will have more fun with you, and that brings up a lot of uncomfortable feelings about her own inadequacies, the reality of life with your daughter's half-brother that she doesn't want to face. Take your daughter, have fun, and make memories. Seems unpopular here, but I think most people are not looking at it through your ex's lens. Try putting yourself in their shoes. Imagine dropping a ton of money to show someone an amazing experience, only for another person to come in and say that they will do it again and it will be better. A true co-parenting moment would have been to talk to your daughter to focus on the positive and fun aspects of the trip, the cool things that she'd seen, etc., and to also try to understand her brother's needs and issues. Also, you are the idiot for your attitude toward autism. You seem to believe it's just naughty child syndrome and that meltdowns are temper tantrums because we don't get our own way. Autism is difficult for adults to navigate and regulate, but nearly impossible for children. You are blaming the brother for ruining it. People who grow up with a disabled sibling like that usually get the short end of the stick. It's called Wells sibling syndrome. Just because she's neurotypical doesn't mean she doesn't have feelings or needs. Honestly, if her brother couldn't stand in line, they could have gotten special accommodations. Instead, OP's ex made his daughter and her brother suffer for no reason. Take her on the trip. It sucks your ex doesn't see the harm she's causing.